I often talk about creative mentoring because to me, mentoring is primarily a creative activity. Mentoring is not learning things by rote or teaching things by rote. Mentoring is not making things okay or helping people fit into normality. It's not that. Mentoring is actually a creative activity. And when it's working properly, it draws on both the creativity of the mentor and the creativity of who's ever being mentored. I think of mentoring a lot as mentoring moments. Lots of times people don't get consistent mentoring. The modern life can cause that to happen easily. People encounter each other in certain circumstances and something's possible and then it all changes again. So mentoring can happen in discrete sessions or events that I call mentoring moments, and what's essential to them is that they're creative. A young person's in trouble and they're not sure what to do and they think maybe trouble is their life and they're going to continue down a road that is threatening or dangerous to them, and someone comes along who knows something about that road and intercepts them and something creative happens. And the quickest way for mentoring to occur is when a young person finds the creative energy in themselves. Someone has, let's say, a musical talent and they encounter a person who knows more about that music than they do, a person who knows how to play a kind of music that they love or respect or that inspires them, and all of a sudden mentoring can happen. And it's the creativity of that older person, not necessarily older, but more knowledgeable about what it is they're both interested in, is the creativity of that person that intrigues them. We call it the genius in them. And the genius in a young person will spot the genius in the older person, and then they will connect on the basis of genius. And genius is always wanting to create something new. And so one way to recognize when mentoring is really going on is something will be created out of it. And the essential reason for that, I think, is the genius hidden inside each person. So one of the first ideas when I work with young people is somehow to communicate to them that they have a natural genius. They're not out in the world looking for everything they need to know. Some of what they need to know is inside themselves, waiting to be awakened. And so mentors can come along and help awaken that. But here's the problem. If a person is interested in helping young people, but they don't know the source of their own creativity, they don't know the location of their own inner genius, they're not going to be that helpful. So one of the first things that a mentor has to do in a new situation is somehow display their own genius. Now that genius is different from their own ego. Ego is like showing off. Genius is like being creative. So if a person can be creative in a mentoring situation, young people will pick that up quickly because their own inner genius will respond. So from my point of view, one of the first things that's necessary for a person who's interested in mentoring is that they become aware of how their own genius works and become increasingly aware of how they can be spontaneously creative as well as authentic in a given situation, and they will automatically attract and be beneficial to whoever needs mentoring in that area.